Hi everybody, this is Brian Bergford with Altitude Dog Training. I hope you're having an awesome day so far. I'm really excited to be bringing this information to you. We're going to be putting together a series of videos. The theme is Transform Your Dog, Transform Yourself. And it's really an extension of my book, Transformational Dog Training. Now, if you don't already have a copy, make sure you pick one up. You can purchase in paperback or ebook format from Amazon.com. If you would like to get more information on the book, you can also visit my website, altitudedogtraining.com. Now, as we're doing this video series, I would love to get your guys' thoughts and feedback on it. And you can reach me. My email address is brian@altitudedogtraining.com. So let's talk a little bit about the format and how this is going to be put together. The first half of the videos are going to be focused on dog behavior and dog training principles, things you can put into practice daily to help your dogs reach their potential and become more stable and mannerly and all the great things we want to see out of them. And the second half of the videos is going to be focused on the people side of things, personal development, practices that you can put into place in your life to help increase your stability, your balance, your joy, your happiness, really just bringing out and maybe bringing back, right, like the passion and the energy and the fire to really move forward. And so let's get started right now. This first video, the theme is decisiveness, all right? And we're going to look at it in both our dogs and ourselves, so let's get started right now.
So we are going to take a look at some video examples of a dog in a state of internal conflict. And you've probably seen this before where your dog is still and seems like she might be caught between two different options. And we call this behavior freezing. And in this case, this dog is going to be caught between fight and flight, a very stressful position to be in. And in the beginning here, we're just doing assessment to kind of see where she's at. So we are going to bring in Stewie to meet her. And you can see how still she is, right? Her intentions are not very clear because she's not even sure which direction she wants to go. And Stewie, luckily, is very dog savvy and keeping an appropriate distance, and she makes a decision right there, which is great, and we want to praise her for that. But you see, she keeps going back to, even as she starts to make some progress, that stillness in her, and we don't want to see that long term, right? And there's different ways we can go about helping them through this process, but before I get into that, I just want you to observe that in this part, it's really subtle, but she keeps moving a little bit, and movement is typically a good thing. You don't want that hard freeze like we were seeing with her before, okay? And with this dog, new dog, she goes right back to her initial habits. I chose not to correct her there. We're in the assessment phase, and I wanted to see if she corrected another dog and saw that the other dog respected that, if she could kind of loosen up and feel like, okay, I can have some control over this situation, so I don't need to be so tense. So we bring in another dog. This is Daedalus, and she goes right back to what she was doing before. So I chose to give her some information about that choice, all right? And then we just have to kind of observe and see what she does with that over time. And a couple minutes later, this interaction is great. You see lip licking, she's diverting her eyes, she's turning her head, and she's starting to give some calming signals to him. Now, this dog is not Lily. This is actually Lucy. She started out very similar to Lily, who I don't have after footage of because I passed her off to my behavior team, but this is Lucy, started out very much like Lily, and this is after she's been with us for a little bit and really started to loosen up and realize, like, you don't have to be defensive. These dogs are being very kind to you, and she even starts to play. And if Lucy does ever freeze, it's very easy to tell that her motive behind it is play, right? She wants to play, she wants to engage and be social. So that's a much different picture from what we saw with Lily.
Hey guys, so let's talk just a little bit about what we just saw in that video with Lily, all right? So that was for illustration purposes. I just wanted you to see it, but I know you've seen it in your own dog too. When they're kind of stuck and they don't really know what to do, you can see the tension and the stress that puts them under, right? And so our job is to guide and to help them make good decisions. Now, certainly in Lily's case, she was uncomfortable, fearful, socially awkward, etc. And so one option to help her be more comfortable around other dogs is we could have systematically exposed her to them over time and in a controlled manner. So in other words, we could have had her seeing dogs at a distance of 50 feet away, and then maybe the next day 45 feet and like 40 and et cetera, until we get her right up next to other dogs, and hopefully she'd be pretty relaxed in that situation. We didn't have the luxury of that much time in our case, so what we wanted to do is skillfully guide her through the situation. You want to do this with your own dogs too. Just communicate with them what decisions you want them to make. And how do you do that? It's pretty simple. They make a choice, and it's a good one, so you make their life awesome. You give them verbal feedback, praise, you pet them, give them food, play with them, throw the tennis ball, it doesn't matter, but you gotta let them know that, like, yeah, that's worth your time to do it again, okay? And if your dog makes the wrong decision, you're gonna have to call them out on it sometimes. Tell them, like, hey, cut it out, redirect their attention, interrupt that, right? And get them back to doing the right thing, and then you just praise them up like crazy, all right? So now let's talk about decisiveness as pertains to people, okay? I would propose that indecisiveness is the most energy draining predicament that you can possibly get yourself into, bar none. And just never forget that when you're going back and forth and you're just hemming and hawing between, I don't know if I should do this, or I don't know about you, but I've just found that that is exhausting to me when my energy is kind of scattered and I know I need to make a decision, but for some reason I just like can't get myself to do it, okay? Being decisive, there's a momentum that builds behind that. Once you learn to make decisions, once you've gathered the proper information, you just move forward with it. It builds momentum for itself. It builds motivation and action, right? And that is a habit, right? The moment you make a decision, it focuses and gives direction to your energy. And that's why it liberates power and energy inside of you. That's why it's such a powerful principle. Now, I will tell you that having a clear purpose, clear priorities and values, you can filter, right, decisions through that, and the answers are going to present themselves like that. They're going to be right there because you are clear on what is most valuable to you. Now, that is assuming, of course, that we have the emotional intelligence and discipline to stay committed to our priorities and values. That's a huge key, right? But here's another one for you. Don't ever make big decisions on bad days. I'm going to repeat that. Don't ever make big decisions on bad days. That little piece of advice is going to, if it's anything like what it did for me, it's going to save you lots of time, effort, and heartbreak down the road, okay? Now, I just want to leave you guys with this. Take stock just today as you're going through your day, all right? Where indecision is really just draining your energy like crazy. Where could you be more decisive? Because you got to realize indecision is going to breed apathy, laziness, procrastination, doubt, and low levels of motivation. But cultivating a habit of decisiveness is going to breed action, confidence, motivation, satisfaction, and it's going to bring passion into your life and help you move forward in a more directed way. And I think you're going to get a lot more done and have a lot more satisfaction. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you again soon.